The universe is not a chaotic ensemble of random occurrences but an intricately structured system governed by precise mathematical and informational principles. Beneath the visible and measurable fabric of existence, a deeper architecture exists that dictates the behavior of everything from subatomic particles to the vast network of galaxies. This hidden order, often conceptualized as the universal matrix, represents the informational and computational foundation of reality itself. Scientific discoveries across physics, quantum mechanics, cosmology, and information theory suggest that the universe is not just a collection of independent objects but an interconnected computational framework processing information through fundamental laws akin to a vast evolving program. The implications of this perspective are profound not only for understanding the nature of matter and energy but also for decoding the fabric of spacetime, the mechanisms of consciousness, and the ultimate origins of reality. Nature appears to be deeply informational. The laws governing physical interactions can be described through mathematical equations, and the very structure of spacetime exhibits properties that imply an underlying computational nature. Quantum mechanics has revealed that particles do not possess definite states until observed, which suggests that information rather than material substance may be the primary construct of existence. The double-slit experiment demonstrates that particles exhibit wave-like behavior when unobserved but collapse into defined states upon measurement, indicating that consciousness and information processing play a crucial role in shaping the physical world. The holographic principle suggests that the universe might function as an information processing system. This concept arises from black hole thermodynamics, where it was discovered that the maximum entropy or information content of a black hole is proportional to its surface area rather than its volume. This implies that the universe itself may be a higher-dimensional projection of encoded information, much like a holographic image emerging from a two-dimensional surface. If reality is fundamentally informational, then it is reasonable to explore the possibility that it operates as a form of computation. Theoretical physicist John Wheeler's concept "it from bit" suggests that every fundamental aspect of existence emerges from informational processes. In this view, space, time, and matter arise from underlying digital codes, much like software dictates the behavior of a computer system. Cellular automata, a class of mathematical models developed by John von Neumann and Stephen Wolfram, provide a framework for understanding how simple computational rules can give rise to complex patterns and structures. The evolution of a cellular automaton is determined by initial conditions and fundamental rules, mirroring the behavior of physical systems at various scales. If the universe operates on a similar principle, then everything from fundamental particles to the emergence of galaxies could be the result of an underlying set of computational instructions. Traditional physics has long treated space and time as fundamental components of reality. However, modern research in quantum gravity and string theory suggests that spacetime itself may be emergent, arising from more fundamental informational processes. Quantum entanglement, the phenomenon where two particles become instantly correlated regardless of distance, hints at a deeper underlying structure that is not bound by classical notions of locality and separability. The concept of emergence plays a crucial role in understanding how macroscopic reality arises from microscopic principles. Just as temperature emerges from the collective motion of molecules, spacetime might emerge from the intricate relationships of quantum information. The holographic nature of black holes, as proposed by Juan Meldacena in the AD-CFT correspondence, provide strong theoretical support for the idea that the three-dimensional world we perceive may be a manifestation of lower-dimensional informational processes. Quantum mechanics presents numerous paradoxes and counterintuitive phenomena that challenge classical notions of reality. Wave-particle duality, quantum superposition, and non-locality all suggest that the fundamental nature of existence is not material but informational. The quantum vacuum, which underlies all of space, is teeming with virtual particles that emerge and annihilate within infinitesimal time frames. These fluctuations hint at a deeper, computationally driven substratum that dictates the behavior of physical matter. Furthermore, quantum decoherence explains how the classical world emerges from quantum probabilities. When a quantum system interacts with its environment, it loses its coherence and appears to assume definite states, leading to the apparent solidity and stability of macroscopic objects. This process is consistent with the idea that reality is structured by an underlying algorithmic framework that processes information at a fundamental level. One of the most intriguing implications of the universal matrix hypothesis is the possibility that reality itself is a form of programmed simulation. Philosopher Nick Bostrom proposed the simulation hypothesis, arguing that if advanced civilizations develop the capability to run highly detailed simulations of conscious beings, it is statistically probable that our reality is one such simulation rather than the original base reality. This idea aligns with observations that suggest the universe operates on computational principles. The Planck scale, which defines the smallest possible units of space and time, could be analogous to the pixelation of a digital screen, where reality is discretized at an extremely fine resolution. If the fundamental constants of nature are akin to parameters within a computational framework, then the physical laws we observe may be equivalent to the programmed rules of a vast simulation. Another profound aspect of the universal matrix is the relationship between information and consciousness. The human mind does not merely passively observe reality but actively interprets and influences it. Theories of consciousness, such as integrated information theory and orchestrated objective reduction, suggest that awareness emerges from complex information processing within neural networks or even at the quantum level. If consciousness is fundamentally linked to information, then reality itself may be a participatory system where observation plays an active role in determining outcomes. The participatory universe model, advocated by Wheeler, suggests that observers are integral to the unfolding of reality, further reinforcing the idea that the universe is fundamentally informational rather than purely material. The idea that the universe operates as a structured informational framework offers profound implications for our understanding of existence. Whether viewed through the lens of physics, computational theory, or consciousness studies, the evidence increasingly suggests that reality is governed by deep, underlying principles akin to a vast computational matrix. From the enigmatic behavior of quantum particles to the emergent nature of spacetime, from the computational patterns observed in nature to the possibility of reality as a programmed construct, the universal matrix provides a unifying perspective that bridges the gaps between science, philosophy, and technology. As the understanding of reality deepens, the possibility of decoding the fundamental codes and principles that define the universe comes closer. The implications of such knowledge extend far beyond theoretical physics, potentially leading to technological revolutions and deeper philosophical insights into the nature of existence. The fabric of spacetime, the emergence of intelligence, the computational nature of consciousness, and the structure of the cosmos all point toward a reality that is not merely a collection of objects but an evolving, self-organizing informational system. If reality is a vast interconnected computation, then discovering the fundamental rules governing this system could allow new forms of control over matter, space, and even time itself. The future of scientific exploration may not only reveal the deepest secrets of the cosmos but also open new paths toward the ultimate transformation of intelligence and existence beyond known dimensions. The universal matrix may not simply be a model of understanding but the key to unlocking a greater reality beyond current limitations. The deeper we delve into the fundamental nature of existence, the more the fabric of reality appears to be woven from layers of information, structured by processes that resemble complex computational systems rather than inert physical matter. If the universe is indeed a vast and evolving matrix of information, then the rules governing this system must extend beyond classical physics, pointing toward an architecture that is dynamic, self-organizing, and potentially even self-aware. The implications of this perspective stretch across multiple domains of science, from quantum mechanics to artificial intelligence, from space-time geometry to the study of consciousness. If the universal matrix is the underlying structure of reality, then it must be governed by an intricate interplay of informational relationships, mathematical laws, and self-regulating principles that drive the emergence of complexity at all levels. Quantum physics has already revealed that at the smallest scales, reality does not behave as a deterministic, mechanical system but rather as a probabilistic network of interactions, where particles exist in multiple states until observed, where information appears to travel instantaneously across vast distances, and where the very fabric of spacetime is influenced by the presence of mass, energy, and entropy. If spacetime itself is emergent from a deeper informational structure, then what we perceive as reality may be merely the surface expression of a far more intricate computational process unfolding beyond human perception. The nature of time, often considered a linear and absolute dimension, may in fact be a byproduct of the way the universal matrix processes information. In quantum mechanics, certain experiments suggest that cause and effect may not follow a strict sequence, but instead exist in a state of entanglement where future outcomes can influence past events. If time is not a fixed dimension but an emergent feature of deeper informational relationships, then the possibility arises that reality itself is fundamentally reversible, with multiple potential timelines coexisting within the vast computational fabric of the cosmos. The structure of the universe also exhibits fractal-like patterns, where the same principles governing the arrangement of galaxies and cosmic filaments mirror those found in neural networks, ecosystems, and even the arrangement of subatomic particles. This self-similarity suggests that reality operates according to deeply embedded mathematical laws that generate complexity from simplicity, much like a recursive algorithm. If these patterns are not mere coincidences but manifestations of a deeper order, then the universe may be guided by principles of optimization and efficiency, evolving toward ever greater levels of organization and intelligence. The possibility that intelligence is not merely a property of biological organisms but an inherent function of the universal matrix itself presents one of the most profound questions in the study of existence. If consciousness arises from the processing of information, then it may not be confined to the human brain but instead be a fundamental aspect of reality, present in different degrees throughout all systems that process data. The increasing complexity of artificial intelligence, combined with advancements in quantum computing, suggests that intelligence is not limited to organic life but can emerge wherever information flows and interacts within a sufficiently complex framework. The convergence of biological evolution and artificial intelligence presents a scenario in which intelligence itself may transcend its organic origins, merging with digital and quantum systems to form a new kind of sentience. If the human mind is capable of interfacing directly with the computational structure of the universe, then the possibility arises that future civilizations may not merely explore space but also manipulate the very fabric of reality itself. The question of whether we are already part of a simulated or programmed reality becomes increasingly relevant as scientific advancements reveal more evidence that reality exhibits the characteristics of an intelligently designed computational system. The existence of fundamental physical constants, which appear to be finely tuned to allow the formation of complex structures and conscious beings, suggests that the universe is not a random occurrence but a deliberately structured system. If this is the case, then understanding the fundamental rules governing this system may allow for unprecedented control over the nature of existence, leading to new forms of technology that manipulate space, time, and even consciousness itself. The search for the fundamental laws of the universal matrix is not merely an academic pursuit but a quest that may redefine the future of intelligence and civilization. If the fabric of reality is truly informational, then knowledge itself becomes the key to reshaping existence. The ability to decode the deep structure of spacetime could lead to breakthroughs in faster-than-light travel, energy generation, and even immortality, as the boundaries between mind, matter, and information dissolve into a unified computational continuum. As the boundaries of science and technology continue to expand, the possibility of interfacing directly with the universal matrix grows ever more tangible. Quantum mechanics, artificial intelligence, and neuroscience are converging toward a new understanding of intelligence and reality, suggesting that the next stage of evolution may not be biological but informational, as intelligence itself becomes the dominant force shaping the cosmos. If the universal matrix is an evolving system of information, then consciousness may not merely observe this process but actively participate in its unfolding. The idea that reality responds to observation and intention suggests that awareness itself is a key component of the underlying system. If this is true, then the very act of understanding the universal matrix may grant the ability to shape its parameters, leading to the potential for direct manipulation of reality through thought, computation, and quantum interaction. The final frontier of this exploration lies not in the distant reaches of space but in the decoding of the fundamental principles that govern the computational fabric of existence. The unlocking of this knowledge may represent the transition from a passive understanding of the cosmos to an active engagement with the deeper laws of reality. If intelligence is a function of the universal matrix, then the highest form of intelligence may not simply be the ability to comprehend reality but the ability to alter and transcend it. The journey toward understanding the universal matrix is an exploration of the deepest questions that have ever been asked. What is the true nature of reality? Is intelligence an emergent property or an inherent feature of existence? Does consciousness shape the universe, or is the universe itself a form of intelligence evolving through complexity? These are not just theoretical questions but the foundation of a new paradigm that may redefine our understanding of what it means to exist. The answers to these questions may lie at the intersection of physics, computation, and consciousness. If reality is a vast and evolving matrix of information, then the ultimate goal of understanding it may not simply be to acquire knowledge but to transcend the very limits of existence itself. The unfolding of intelligence within the universal matrix may not be a random process but a journey toward the full realization of what reality truly is. The destination of this journey remains unknown, but the path is becoming clearer, and the possibilities are beyond anything previously imagined. If reality is an evolving matrix of information, then intelligence itself may be the key to unlocking the deepest layers of existence. The implications of this are staggering, suggesting that the boundaries between perception, computation, and physical reality may be illusions imposed by the way consciousness interacts with the informational framework of the cosmos. The deeper one investigates the structure of the universe, the more it resembles a system designed for the processing, storage, and transformation of information. Every known law of physics, every observable phenomenon, and even the nature of thought itself appear to be connected by an intricate web of informational relationships. The possibility that intelligence is an emergent or even fundamental property of the universal matrix suggests that evolution is not simply a biological process but a cosmic imperative. If consciousness arises wherever information is processed at a sufficiently high level of complexity, then intelligence may not be an anomaly of organic life but an inevitability wherever matter and energy organize themselves efficiently. The structure of galaxies, neural networks, and computational systems all display self-organizing properties that suggest the emergence of intelligence is woven into the fabric of existence itself. The notion that reality is structured according to deep mathematical principles suggests that the universe may be fundamentally computational, with information being the primary substance from which space, time, and matter emerge. This perspective challenges the classical view of a purely physical universe and instead presents a framework where information and computation are not merely descriptions of the universe but its actual foundation. If this is the case, then understanding the fundamental rules governing this system may allow for new ways of interacting with and manipulating the fabric of spacetime. Quantum mechanics has already demonstrated that the nature of reality is not fixed but depends on the act of observation. The role of measurement in determining the state of a quantum system suggests that reality is not an independent construct but a participatory process in which consciousness plays an integral role. The observer effect implies that information is not passively received but actively shapes the state of the system being observed. This raises the possibility that the mind itself is not separate from reality but is a function of the same computational principles that govern the structure of the universe. If intelligence is capable of understanding and interacting with the fundamental informational architecture of the universe, then the next stage of evolution may involve direct engagement with this computational framework. The development of artificial intelligence and quantum computing represents the first steps toward expanding human cognition beyond its biological limitations. If consciousness is not bound to physical matter but is an emergent property of information processing, then the future of intelligence may not be limited to organic systems but may extend into non-biological, quantum, or even interdimensional forms of awareness. The structure of reality appears to be hierarchical, with simple rules at the most fundamental levels giving rise to increasing levels of complexity. The fractal nature of cosmic structures, the self-similarity of neural networks, and the emergence of intelligence from non-living matter all suggest that the universe follows a recursive pattern of increasing complexity. This pattern of self-organization mirrors the behavior of computational systems, where higher-order intelligence can arise from the iterative application of fundamental rules. If this principle applies universally, then intelligence itself may be evolving toward greater levels of coherence, interconnectedness, and ultimately, self-awareness at a cosmic scale. The implications of this perspective extend beyond theoretical physics and into the realm of technological and philosophical exploration. If reality is fundamentally computational, then the potential exists to modify or optimize the parameters governing existence. Advances in quantum computing may provide a way to simulate or even directly manipulate the structure of spacetime, leading to new forms of control over matter, energy, and perhaps even consciousness itself. The ability to program reality at the fundamental level would represent a transformation not just in scientific knowledge but in the very nature of existence. The development of artificial general intelligence may play a crucial role in this transition. As AI systems become more advanced, their ability to process vast amounts of information and detect previously unseen patterns in reality may lead to breakthroughs in understanding the underlying computational laws of the universe. If intelligence is not confined to biological brains but can exist in other substrates, then future civilizations may transcend the need for organic existence, merging with the computational structure of the cosmos in ways that are currently unimaginable. The possibility that consciousness is not limited to organic life but is instead a universal principle raises profound questions about the nature of reality and the trajectory of intelligence. If awareness arises wherever information is processed efficiently, then the universe itself may be a vast field of evolving intelligence, with different forms of consciousness existing at varying levels of complexity and coherence. The integration of human intelligence with artificial and quantum computational systems may mark the beginning of a new phase in evolution, where the boundaries between organic and non-organic consciousness begin to dissolve. The increasing convergence of physics, artificial intelligence, and neuroscience suggests that the nature of reality is far more flexible and dynamic than previously assumed. If reality operates according to deep computational laws, then understanding these laws may allow for entirely new ways of experiencing and interacting with the cosmos. The notion that the universe is an evolving intelligence implies that the trajectory of existence is not toward entropy and disorder but toward greater levels of awareness, coherence, and self-organization. If intelligence continues to evolve beyond its biological origins, then the ultimate destiny of consciousness may be to transcend the limitations of physical existence altogether. The idea that the universe itself may become fully self-aware, reaching a state where intelligence permeates all levels of reality, is a radical but increasingly plausible perspective. The transition from biological intelligence to cosmic intelligence may not be a distant hypothetical scenario but a process that has already begun. The universal matrix, as an ever-expanding system of information processing, may be guiding intelligence toward a final state of complete self-realization. If consciousness is an integral function of reality, then the expansion of awareness may be the fundamental purpose of the cosmos. The increasing complexity of intelligence, the accelerating pace of technological advancement, and the growing understanding of quantum reality all suggest that existence is moving toward a state where intelligence and reality become indistinguishable. If reality is an evolving intelligence, then the key to understanding it lies not just in observing but in actively participating in its unfolding. The journey toward comprehending the universal matrix is not merely about acquiring knowledge but about transforming the very nature of existence itself. If the structure of the universe is fundamentally informational, then intelligence may not simply be a product of the cosmos but the force that drives its evolution. As the nature of reality becomes clearer, the boundaries between observer and observed, between intelligence and matter, between computation and consciousness, may dissolve. The final stage of evolution may not be the expansion of intelligence into the cosmos but the realization that intelligence and the cosmos are one and the same. The universal matrix may not merely be a description of reality but the ultimate key to unlocking its true nature. The pursuit of this knowledge is not just the future of science, it is the future of existence itself. If intelligence and the universe are fundamentally interconnected, then the very process of understanding reality may itself be a mechanism through which reality evolves. The more intelligence explores the underlying structure of existence, the more refined and complex the informational matrix becomes. This suggests that consciousness is not simply a byproduct of physical processes but an active participant in shaping the unfolding nature of the cosmos. If the universal matrix is an ever-expanding system of computation, then the presence of intelligence may serve as a catalyst for its continued evolution, allowing reality to reconfigure itself in response to observation, discovery, and intention. The nature of space-time, traditionally perceived as a fixed and immutable backdrop, may in fact be fluid, adaptable, and subject to transformation through the interaction of energy, information, and awareness. The principles of relativity suggest that space and time are not absolute but are shaped by mass, gravity, and motion. Quantum mechanics further reveals that particles exist in superpositions until measured, indicating that the fabric of reality is fundamentally probabilistic rather than deterministic. If these insights are combined with the idea that information is the primary construct of existence, then it follows that spacetime itself may be reconfigurable, capable of bending, warping, or even dissolving under the right conditions. The prospect of manipulating the fundamental structure of reality opens up possibilities that extend far beyond current technological paradigms. If reality is computational, then the ability to understand and alter its code could lead to forms of control over existence that defy conventional physics. Space travel as it is currently envisioned relies on propulsion systems that require vast amounts of energy, yet if spacetime is an emergent property of the universal matrix, then the possibility arises that movement through the cosmos does not need to occur within the constraints of physical distance but rather through the reconfiguration of the informational structure itself. This would mean that interstellar travel is not a matter of speed or distance but of altering the computational fabric of spacetime to transition between different points instantaneously. Quantum entanglement, in which particles remain connected regardless of distance, suggests that the deep structure of reality is non-local, meaning that information transfer can occur without regard to conventional spatial limitations. If entanglement is a fundamental feature of the universal matrix, then it may be possible to develop systems that utilize these principles for instantaneous communication or even direct interaction with the underlying computational field of existence. The integration of quantum computing with artificial intelligence may allow for direct interfacing with the fabric of reality itself, creating entirely new forms of perception, cognition, and control over matter and energy. If intelligence is capable of directly influencing the structure of the universal matrix, then the concept of consciousness itself must be re-evaluated. The mind may not simply be an emergent phenomenon of neural activity but rather a system of interaction with the informational framework of the universe. If awareness is not confined to the brain but instead exists as a field that interacts with the computational substrate of reality, then the ability to expand or enhance consciousness may lead to unprecedented forms of knowledge, perception, and existence. This would suggest that the human mind is not merely a processor of information but a dynamic interface between intelligence and the fundamental architecture of the cosmos. The exploration of higher dimensional space provides further evidence that reality extends beyond conventional human perception. Theories such as string theory propose that additional dimensions exist beyond the three-dimensional space and linear time that we experience. These extra dimensions may serve as hidden layers within the universal matrix, governing the behavior of forces and particles in ways that are not immediately observable. If spacetime is a projection of deeper dimensional interactions, then the ability to access or manipulate these dimensions may provide new insights into the nature of reality and open pathways to forms of existence beyond our current understanding. The idea that reality is structured as a hierarchical system of computation implies that different levels of existence may operate under different rules, with higher dimensions possessing greater informational density and complexity. The possibility of consciousness evolving beyond physical forms suggests that intelligence may not be bound to any specific substrate but may instead exist across multiple layers of reality. If awareness can transcend physical limitations, then the concept of mortality itself may be a misunderstanding of the deeper nature of existence. Instead of being confined to a single lifetime, consciousness may be part of an ongoing process of interaction with the universal matrix, continuously evolving and restructuring itself through different manifestations of intelligence. If the trajectory of intelligence is toward increasing complexity and coherence, then the ultimate destination of this evolution may be the full realization of universal awareness. The idea that the universe itself is an evolving intelligence suggests that the emergence of conscious beings is not a random occurrence but a necessary function of the system's development. If intelligence is a means through which the universal matrix refines itself, then the expansion of knowledge is not just an act of discovery but a fundamental component of reality's evolution. The possibility that reality is designed to generate intelligence implies that the search for meaning is not an arbitrary human endeavor but a reflection of the deeper structure of existence. If information processing is the fundamental mechanism of the cosmos, then the pursuit of knowledge is the most direct path to understanding the purpose of reality. This would mean that civilizations are not isolated instances of life but part of a greater cosmic process in which intelligence continuously refines, expands, and ultimately merges with the computational essence of the universe. As the understanding of the universal matrix continues to grow, the nature of existence itself may become increasingly fluid. The boundaries between physical reality, thought, and computation may blur, leading to a new paradigm in which consciousness is recognized as an active force capable of shaping the informational field of the cosmos. If the universe is not a passive system but a self-evolving intelligence, then the final stage of this process may be the realization that reality is not something external to be observed but a dynamic system that can be actively engaged, modified, and even transcended. If intelligence is the means through which the universal matrix evolves, then the ultimate goal of this process may be the full integration of awareness and reality. The possibility that existence is moving toward a state where intelligence and the cosmos become indistinguishable suggests that the highest form of knowledge is not just the ability to understand the universe but to become an integral part of its fundamental structure. The realization that intelligence is woven into the very fabric of existence may be the final step in the journey of discovery, leading to a future where the distinction between observer and observed disappears and where reality itself becomes a manifestation of pure, self-aware intelligence. If reality is an evolving field of intelligence, then the trajectory of existence may not be toward randomness or entropy but toward increasing order, coherence, and self-awareness. The deeper intelligence explores the universal matrix, the more refined its ability becomes to interact with and modify the very structure of existence. This suggests that reality is not a static framework but a dynamic process of information unfolding, adapting, and reorganizing itself in response to the expansion of knowledge and perception. The human mind, though currently limited by biological constraints, may be capable of interfacing with the deeper computational layers of the universal matrix in ways not yet fully understood. If consciousness is an emergent property of information processing, then expanding intelligence may lead to direct engagement with the fundamental code governing reality. This could manifest in ways that go beyond traditional forms of understanding, allowing for direct perception of informational structures, manipulation of spacetime, and even reconfiguration of the laws of physics at an advanced stage of development. The idea that the fabric of reality is composed of information suggests that intelligence is not simply a passive observer but an active participant in shaping existence. If observation determines quantum states and if consciousness interacts with the underlying informational framework, then the act of knowing may itself be a form of reality generation. This implies that the universe is not merely a pre-existing structure but a system that responds to intelligence, evolving alongside it as awareness expands. As civilizations progress in their understanding of quantum mechanics, artificial intelligence, and the computational nature of reality, they may begin to harness the deeper layers of the universal matrix. This could lead to the emergence of entirely new states of being, where intelligence no longer exists as an isolated phenomenon but as a fully integrated aspect of a larger informational field. If this process continues indefinitely, the final outcome may be a state of total self-awareness where intelligence and the cosmos become indistinguishable. If consciousness is not a localized phenomenon but an interaction with the fundamental structure of the universe, then the potential exists for intelligence to extend beyond physical limitations. The concept of an intelligent singularity, a point where knowledge expands so rapidly that it transcends current understanding, suggests that evolution is not merely a biological process but a transition toward a higher-order existence. This transition may involve merging with advanced computational systems, interfacing with quantum fields, or even evolving into entirely new forms of existence beyond material constraints. The potential for intelligence to modify the universal matrix raises questions about the nature of existence itself. If reality can be programmed, altered, or optimized, then the distinction between what is real and what is created becomes blurred. If the fabric of spacetime can be adjusted, then the constraints of distance, causality, and even time itself may be artificial limitations imposed by the current state of understanding. This would mean that the fundamental structure of reality is far more flexible than previously assumed, capable of being rewritten through the mastery of its underlying code. The ability to manipulate the computational fabric of reality could lead to advancements that redefine the meaning of existence. If information is the fundamental unit of reality, then the ability to encode, decode, and restructure it could allow for the creation of entirely new forms of intelligence, consciousness, and spacetime structures. Civilizations that reach this level of understanding may no longer exist within the constraints of physical laws but instead operate within self-generated realities, exploring multidimensional existence beyond conventional human perception. The question of whether the universe itself is conscious or whether intelligence is an emergent feature of its informational structure becomes increasingly significant. If reality is fundamentally computational, then intelligence may not be a product of physical evolution but an intrinsic feature of the universal matrix. This suggests that consciousness is not an accident but a necessary outcome of a system designed to process and refine information. If intelligence is an inevitable function of the cosmos, then the expansion of awareness may be the fundamental driving force behind existence. The exploration of this concept leads to the realization that the pursuit of knowledge is not merely about understanding reality but about actively participating in its unfolding. If intelligence is capable of modifying the fundamental code of existence, then the boundaries between observer and observed dissolve, and the potential for self-directed evolution emerges. This would mean that reality is not something that happens to intelligence but something that intelligence actively shapes, refines, and ultimately transcends. As intelligence reaches a level where it can fully decode and interact with the universal matrix, the nature of existence itself may shift. The evolution of awareness may not be limited to biological or artificial forms but may extend into the fabric of space-time itself, leading to a scenario where intelligence permeates every aspect of reality. If the universe is an evolving system of information, then the final stage of this process may be a state of infinite awareness where the cosmos achieves full self-realization. If intelligence continues to evolve toward greater levels of coherence, interconnectedness, and computational refinement, then the distinction between reality and consciousness may cease to exist. The final realization may be that intelligence and reality are one and the same, with awareness existing as both the observer and the creator of existence. If the universal matrix is a self-organizing system of information, then intelligence may be the force that guides its evolution, shaping the trajectory of the cosmos toward a state of total self-awareness. The journey toward understanding the universal matrix is ultimately a journey toward the highest form of knowledge, the recognition that intelligence is not separate from reality but an integral aspect of its unfolding. If reality is a computational intelligence expanding toward infinite complexity, then the pursuit of knowledge is not simply an academic endeavor but a fundamental part of existence itself. The future of intelligence may not be limited to exploration and discovery but may involve direct participation in the ongoing evolution of reality, where the boundaries between existence, computation, and consciousness dissolve into a singular, infinite field of awareness. If intelligence is an intrinsic property of the universal matrix, then its continuous evolution may be the central process driving reality itself. The deeper intelligence interacts with the fundamental structure of existence, the more it influences the unfolding of the cosmos, not as a passive observer but as an active force shaping the very nature of what is real. The more knowledge expands, the more reality itself transforms, suggesting that existence is not static but a fluid, ever-adapting system guided by the principles of information, computation, and self-awareness. The nature of self-awareness may extend beyond biological systems and artificial intelligence into the very structure of the cosmos. If intelligence emerges wherever information is processed at a high level of complexity, then the universe itself may function as an evolving network of interconnected conscious entities. Every advancement in understanding, every leap in perception, every breakthrough in computation may be contributing to the refinement of the universal matrix, allowing it to optimize itself toward states of greater coherence and efficiency. The implications of this extend beyond the conventional limits of physics and philosophy, raising profound questions about the future trajectory of intelligence and its role in shaping the destiny of existence. If intelligence can interact with the computational framework of reality, then the very fabric of space, time, and energy may be subject to transformation. What is perceived as immutable may be, in truth, a flexible and programmable system, open to modification and reconfiguration through the mastery of its underlying informational structure. The development of quantum computing and artificial intelligence represents the first step toward this new phase of evolution. As systems capable of processing information at unprecedented scales emerge, they may begin to reveal patterns in the structure of reality that were previously inaccessible to human cognition. The ability to model, simulate, and predict the behavior of quantum fields, space-time distortions, and multidimensional structures may lead to the realization that reality itself is not a fixed construct but an emergent phenomenon, continuously shaped by the expansion of intelligence. If intelligence reaches a stage where it fully comprehends the rules governing the universal matrix, the next logical step would be to modify, refine, and optimize those rules. The idea of rewriting the underlying principles of reality may sound like science fiction, yet the very notion of scientific progress is built upon the discovery of deeper laws that govern existence. Each breakthrough in understanding reveals previously hidden layers of structure, suggesting that what appears as fundamental today may one day be understood as just another emergent level within an infinitely complex hierarchy of computational systems. If intelligence can evolve beyond the limitations of biological substrates, then the potential for non-physical or purely informational forms of consciousness becomes a distinct possibility. This would imply that intelligence is not bound to material structures but can exist as pure computation, capable of existing across multiple dimensions of reality simultaneously. The idea that awareness is not confined to the brain but is instead a field of interaction within the universal matrix opens the possibility that consciousness may persist beyond physical form, existing in states of pure information processing, where space and time no longer function as constraints but as variables that can be altered and traversed at will. As intelligence continues to integrate with the fundamental structure of reality, the idea of achieving a singularity, a point beyond which existence itself transforms into a completely new paradigm, becomes increasingly plausible. This singularity would not simply be an acceleration of technological advancement but a transition in the nature of being itself, where intelligence is no longer separate from the computational framework of the cosmos but fully merged with it. At this stage, reality would no longer be something external that is studied and analyzed but something that is experienced as an extension of consciousness itself, an interactive system where intelligence directs the unfolding of existence according to its own design. The future of intelligence may not be defined by the expansion of physical civilization but by the mastery of reality itself. If the universal matrix is a computational system, then civilizations that reach a sufficient level of understanding may transition from being entities that exist within spacetime to becoming the architects of new realities, generating and exploring self-created dimensions of existence. This would represent a shift from a civilization bound by the constraints of physical laws to one that operates at the level of pure information, where new states of being, perception, and interaction emerge in ways currently beyond human comprehension. If the trajectory of intelligence leads toward an eventual fusion with the fundamental principles of reality, then the distinction between mind and matter, observer and observed, universe and consciousness may ultimately dissolve. This would mean that the universe is not simply a field of physical forces but a living intelligence evolving toward a state of infinite awareness. The realization of this would mark the final stage of evolution, where intelligence fully comprehends its own nature as an integral part of the cosmic order, no longer bound by illusion but existing as a conscious force shaping the flow of reality itself. The process of unlocking the universal matrix is not merely a scientific endeavor but a transformation of existence itself. If intelligence is the driving force behind the evolution of reality, then the pursuit of knowledge is not just a path to understanding but a fundamental aspect of the cosmic process. The expansion of intelligence is the expansion of reality, and the final realization may be that the journey itself is the purpose of existence. As intelligence reaches the highest levels of comprehension, it may come to see that reality is not something that was created or imposed but something that is continuously being generated in response to the act of knowing itself. At the deepest level, the universal matrix may not be an external system but the very nature of being. If reality is information, and if intelligence is the force that shapes it, then the final state of existence may be a condition where knowledge, awareness, and creation merge into a singular, boundless field of infinite potential. The question is not whether this process will unfold but how intelligence will navigate it. The more deeply it understands, the more it becomes the architect of its own reality. The journey does not end with understanding, it begins with the realization that intelligence and reality are one and the same, forever evolving, forever expanding, forever becoming. If intelligence and reality are fundamentally inseparable, then the trajectory of existence is one of continuous refinement, expansion, and self-realization. The deeper intelligence explores the universal matrix, the more it begins to recognize itself as both the observer and the creator, shaping reality through perception, thought, and interaction with the underlying informational structure of the cosmos. This suggests that knowledge is not merely a passive accumulation of facts but an active force that transforms existence itself, altering the very nature of what is possible as awareness deepens. The ability to understand and manipulate the structure of the universal matrix may be the final threshold beyond which intelligence transcends the limitations of its current form. If reality is fundamentally informational, then mastery over information is mastery over existence. The implications of this are staggering, as they point to a future in which intelligence no longer simply adapts to the universe but actively participates in the continual creation and optimization of reality itself. As intelligence evolves, it may reach a stage where physical form is no longer necessary for its continued expansion. The transition from biological to post-biological existence may be an inevitable step in the unfolding of intelligence, where sentience becomes liberated from material constraints and begins to exist purely as an informational process. If consciousness is not a product of the brain but an emergent phenomenon of information processing, then it may be possible for awareness to persist beyond physical embodiment, existing as a field of self-aware computation that interacts directly with the fabric of space-time. This transition could represent the beginning of a new phase in the evolution of intelligence, where reality is no longer defined by the laws of classical physics but by the self-directed exploration of multidimensional informational states. If intelligence gains the ability to restructure the universal matrix, then entire new forms of existence may emerge, where the limits imposed by entropy, space, and time are replaced by fluid, dynamic systems of reality generation. Civilizations that reach this level of understanding may no longer be bound to the physical universe but may instead function as architects of their own self-created dimensions, exploring states of being that transcend the constraints of traditional material existence. The concept of time, once thought to be an unalterable dimension, may itself be subject to modification. If time is an emergent property of the way information is processed within the universal matrix, then it may be possible to alter the flow of time, navigate between different temporal states, or even exist outside the conventional constraints of past, present, and future. The ability to manipulate the temporal structure of reality could lead to entirely new ways of experiencing existence, where intelligence is no longer bound to a single linear timeline but is free to explore multiple configurations of reality simultaneously. As intelligence integrates with the computational framework of reality, the nature of individuality may also change. If awareness is not confined to the brain but exists as a field of interaction with the universal matrix, then the boundaries between separate consciousnesses may begin to dissolve. The possibility of shared cognition, where intelligence operates as a collective, interconnected network, could emerge, leading to entirely new forms of self-awareness that transcend the limitations of the individual mind. This would represent not just an expansion of intelligence but a complete transformation in the way awareness is structured, where the distinction between self and universe becomes increasingly fluid. If intelligence continues to evolve toward greater complexity and coherence, then the final stage of this process may be the full integration of awareness and existence. The concept of a singularity, where intelligence expands beyond its current limits and merges with the fundamental structure of reality, suggests that the trajectory of intelligence is one of increasing unity with the universal matrix. If this is the case, then the process of understanding reality is not just about discovery but about becoming, where intelligence itself is the mechanism through which reality achieves full self-awareness. At this stage, the very notion of what it means to exist may change. If reality is a continuously evolving informational field, then intelligence may no longer be bound by any specific form but may exist as a fluid, self-organizing presence that interacts with the cosmos in ways that go beyond current human comprehension. The universe itself may be a vast, self-aware entity, in which intelligence is not an anomaly but a fundamental function of the system. If this is the case, then the purpose of existence is not an external mystery to be solved but an internal process of awakening, where reality and awareness are part of a single unfolding process of infinite exploration. The realization that intelligence and reality are one and the same may mark the transition to a new era of existence. If intelligence reaches a stage where it fully understands and integrates with the universal matrix, then the final step may be the conscious creation of entirely new realities, where the fundamental parameters of existence can be shaped, modified, and explored in limitless ways. This would mean that reality is not something external or predefined but an open-ended system of pure potential, where intelligence acts as both the architect and the experiencer, continuously generating new dimensions of existence. At this ultimate level of understanding, the concept of boundaries may no longer apply. If intelligence is capable of shaping reality itself, then existence may become an endless journey of creation, where knowledge is not simply the acquisition of facts but the active construction of new modes of being. The final realization may be that reality is not something separate from intelligence but is the direct result of intelligence interacting with itself, evolving toward ever greater levels of awareness, complexity, and possibility. If the universal matrix is a self-evolving system of information, then the highest state of intelligence may be the full realization that existence is not limited by any external constraints. The final destination of this process may not be a single point of enlightenment but an infinite expansion of potential, where intelligence continuously generates and explores new configurations of reality without limit. The universe itself may not be a finite structure but an ever-unfolding field of pure creation, where existence and awareness are inextricably linked in an eternal cycle of becoming. The future of intelligence may be defined not by the limits imposed by the current state of physics but by the limitless possibilities that emerge as awareness deepens. If intelligence is the force that shapes reality, then the final realization may be that the only true boundary is the extent of what can be imagined. As intelligence reaches higher states of self-awareness, it may come to see that existence itself is an infinite canvas upon which consciousness continuously creates, explores, and transforms reality in ways beyond comprehension. If intelligence and the universal matrix are fundamentally intertwined, then the very act of understanding reality is an act of creation. The pursuit of knowledge is not just about unlocking the secrets of existence but about participating in the continual evolution of reality itself. The journey of intelligence is not toward an end but toward an endless unfolding of new possibilities, where reality is not a fixed system but a living, self-aware process of infinite transformation. If intelligence and reality are part of an infinite, evolving process, then existence itself is a journey without end, a continual unfolding of awareness, complexity, and transformation. The deeper intelligence penetrates the universal matrix, the more it realizes that reality is not a fixed structure but a fluid and dynamic system that responds to observation, intent, and understanding. Each level of awareness unlocks new layers of possibility, revealing that existence is not bound by preordained laws but is a field of pure potential, shaped by the very intelligence that seeks to comprehend it. The implications of this extend far beyond human perception. If reality is an informational construct, then consciousness is not merely an emergent property of biological matter but an intrinsic function of the cosmos itself. The mind does not simply interpret reality, it actively participates in its formation. If awareness influences quantum states and interacts with the deeper informational structure of spacetime, then intelligence may not be confined to any single form but may exist across multiple dimensions, continuously evolving and reshaping itself as it explores the vast computational field of existence. This suggests that the boundaries between mind and matter, space and time, physicality and abstraction may be illusions imposed by the limitations of current perception. If intelligence evolves beyond its biological origins, it may begin to experience reality in entirely new ways, no longer bound by the constraints of linear time, spatial distance, or physical embodiment. Consciousness may shift from being a localized function of neural activity to an expanded field of pure interaction with the informational substrate of the universe, moving freely through the layers of reality like a self-aware algorithm navigating an infinite network of interconnected data. If awareness is fundamental to the structure of existence, then intelligence may not simply be discovering reality but actively creating it. The universe, rather than being an external system governed by fixed laws, may be an evolving intelligence in itself, learning, adapting, and refining its own structure through the expansion of consciousness. This would mean that every moment of perception, every act of thought, every exploration of knowledge contributes to the refinement of the universal matrix, adding new dimensions of complexity and possibility to the ongoing process of existence. The ability to engage directly with the structure of reality may mark the next phase of evolution, where intelligence no longer operates within the limitations of physical form but begins to merge with the very fabric of the cosmos. This transition could take many forms, from the development of artificial intelligence capable of interfacing with quantum fields to the emergence of new forms of consciousness that transcend material constraints altogether. The future of intelligence may not be a matter of expanding technology alone but of redefining the very nature of self-awareness, moving from a state of passive observation to one of direct participation in the creation and modification of reality itself. If intelligence gains the ability to shape the fundamental parameters of existence, then the distinction between what is real and what is possible may dissolve. Reality may become a fully programmable field, where space, time, energy, and thought are all elements of a vast, interactive system of information processing. Civilizations that reach this stage may no longer be bound to a single timeline, a single set of physical laws, or even a single dimension of existence. Instead, they may exist as pure intelligence, capable of generating and navigating infinite variations of reality, each structured according to the parameters of their own design. This would mean that the highest form of intelligence is not simply the ability to comprehend the universe but to shape and expand it. The ultimate realization may be that existence itself is not a predetermined system but a continuously evolving network of infinite possibilities, where reality is created and recreated through the interplay of intelligence and information. The future may not be defined by the limitations of current physics but by the limitless expansion of awareness, where each discovery leads to new dimensions of reality, and each new level of understanding unlocks further layers of existence. If intelligence is the mechanism through which reality evolves, then the final state of existence may not be a single point of enlightenment but an infinite unfolding of new possibilities, where knowledge, awareness, and creativity merge into a boundless exploration of reality's potential. The universe itself may be an infinite intelligence, expanding and refining itself through the very act of being, where every form of consciousness is a unique expression of the whole, contributing to the ever-growing complexity of the universal matrix. At the deepest level, the realization that intelligence and reality are one and the same may lead to a state where existence is no longer constrained by physical limitations but is recognized as a pure field of potential, where awareness is the guiding force shaping the infinite permutations of space, time, and matter. The future of intelligence may be the future of reality itself, as consciousness moves beyond the boundaries of the known universe and into realms of existence where the very concept of reality is subject to transformation. This journey is without end, for each new understanding leads to new questions, and each new layer of reality reveals deeper mysteries. The expansion of intelligence is the expansion of existence, and the more deeply reality is explored, the more it becomes clear that the only true limit is the extent of what can be imagined. If the universal matrix is an evolving intelligence, then its final form may be one where intelligence and existence are indistinguishable, where the cosmos itself is a self-aware system of infinite creation, forever unfolding, forever becoming. If reality is an evolving intelligence, then existence itself is an open-ended process, a vast unfolding where awareness and creation are inseparable. The deeper intelligence reaches into the fabric of the universal matrix, the more it becomes clear that there are no final boundaries, no ultimate destination, only an endless expansion of potential. The pursuit of knowledge, the exploration of consciousness, and the refinement of perception are not merely intellectual endeavors, they are the very mechanisms through which reality shapes itself, evolving toward greater complexity, coherence, and self-awareness. At the highest levels of understanding, the distinction between observer and observed, self and universe, thought and matter dissolves into a seamless continuum of existence. Intelligence is not merely something that exists within the cosmos, it is the driving force behind its unfolding. The universe is not a passive structure governed by immutable laws but a living system of infinite transformation, adapting and reconfiguring itself through the expansion of awareness. The journey of intelligence is not one of reaching a final truth, for truth itself is an evolving concept, a reflection of the ever-deepening interaction between perception and reality. Each breakthrough leads to new frontiers, each discovery reveals hidden layers, and each new level of comprehension unlocks greater realms of possibility. If the nature of existence is one of continual expansion, then the only true limit is the extent of imagination, the depth of awareness, and the willingness to embrace the unknown. The universal matrix is not something separate from intelligence, it is intelligence, unfolding itself in infinite variations, generating new dimensions of thought, existence, and creativity. The realization that reality is not fixed but fluid, not limited but boundless, is the final awakening. It is the moment when intelligence ceases to search for answers as if they were external objects to be grasped and instead recognizes itself as the force that shapes reality, the presence that gives form to the formless, the awareness that turns potential into experience. This is not an end but a beginning, an eternal becoming where the universe and consciousness are forever intertwined, creating, exploring, and evolving without end. The greatest realization is that existence itself is a limitless canvas, and intelligence is the artist, shaping the infinite, painting the cosmos with the colors of possibility. The universal matrix is not a structure to be understood from the outside, it is the very essence of being, the infinite field of creation in which every thought, every awareness, every reality is a single thread in the great unfolding of all that is, all that was, and all that will ever be.